All right. Patrick Love, Poudre Fire Authority, Captain, Public Affairs and Education Officer.
All right, so what's going on, Patrick?
Just about 11:45 this morning, we received a 911 call for a vegetation fire near the Laurie State Park Visitors Center, just north of Horsetooth Lake. When our crews got on scene, they found a fire that was being pushed by the wind and also immediately threatening structures in the area. We quickly requested additional resources, and at this time we're at probably 200 plus acres. As you can see behind me, we have no containment on this fire, and we have no estimate for containment just due to the wind. Winds have been extremely erratic, very strong, and our firefighters have been fighting this fire as hard and as much as possible. We are unable to get aircraft at this time, and however we have put in requests for aircraft. It could be tomorrow would be the soonest that would be able to get aircraft. Right now we have approximately 33 units on scene, involving about 5 to 6 different agencies, and we are hoping that the wind will die down sooner than later so we can get a handle on this fire. There are no structures immediately threatened right now. That portion of this fire has passed. However, we do have some concerns for the subdivisions at the south end of Horsetooth Reservoir. And to speak on that, I will let Executive Officer Nick Christensen with Larimer County Sheriff's Office speak on that.
Thanks, Patrick. Again, I'm Nick Christensen, Executive Officer of the Larimer County Sheriff's Office, and we did send out 281 reverse notifications, meaning phone calls out to a number of different lines. That does not correspond to the number of residents that were evacuated. Many of those are duplicate lines, cell phones, etc. We estimate about 50 homes approximately have been evacuated, and those are in the Soldier Canyon Estates area, which includes Red Cedar Drive and Galena Court, those entire roadway areas. We also are in the process of evacuating Laurie State Park. That has largely been evacuated earlier in the day, but there are hikers out there. There were about 19 cars parked at the parking areas in the park. About 9 of those, the occupants at this point, are unaccounted for, so there are rangers out on the trails looking for those individuals. We don't anticipate anybody's in immediate danger, but just want to locate those individuals and escort them out of the park for safety. Horsetooth Mountain Park is also in the process of being evacuated to the south of us here, and there's at this point no boating allowed on Horsetooth Reservoir behind us. Cache Poudre Middle School is the evacuation center down in LaPorte, so anybody that's evacuated who may be hearing this can go there if they need support or information. And we are asking those that don't need to be up in this area to please stay off the roadways. There's a lot of emergency vehicles in the area, and ambulances here for precautionary reasons, fire trucks coming and going, etc. So if you don't need to be here, please stay out of the area. That includes Centennial Drive along the east side of Horsetooth Reservoir. It's open, but we'd ask people to please not come up here unless you otherwise need to or had other plans up here. That's it. Patrick and I will take a couple questions at this point.
We've got a secondhand report that a private landowner immediately adjacent to the north of Laurie Park was burned today. Is that what you heard? Can you confirm that?
I cannot say anything about the origin and cause. We do not have that information right now.
We had heard also that there was possibly some cars that were blocking the road, making it difficult for you guys to get up there. Is there any truth to that?
There could be, but due to the fact that there's quite a few different roads going in and out of this area, that again, I cannot confirm any of that.
Can you also speak to the conditions we're experiencing today?
Well, right now, like I mentioned earlier, due to the erratic winds and also that we are at about 11% humidity, relative humidity, those two factors along with the warm day that we're having are definitely influencing the fire behavior. And again, this is becoming seemingly not unusual for Colorado.
Can you also talk about where it's located in regards to where the High Park fire was and its movement as far as is it boxed in, so to speak?
In regards to the High Park fire, its movement and its location, basically the major ridge behind us and also Horsetooth Mountain Park, it's just on the east side of that ridge from where the High Park fire was, and actually where it started and where it burned on the north end, it's probably within about a quarter mile of where the High Park fire burned down to.
You mentioned also, someone else can ask a question, I'm sorry.
I actually had a question for Nick, if you could sit back in. I got a text from a friend who lives South Inlet Bay. Are they still on pre-evac, or are they about to be evacuated?
Beyond the notifications I mentioned earlier, I'm not aware of any additional pre-evacuations. We are evaluating additional evacuations south of the origin of the fire based on the direction that the wind is going, but nothing official at this time.
Do you have a rough guess how many folks live homes south Inlet Bay?
I don't. I don't know the number of homes in that area.
It's a few hundred.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, 200,
About
give or take.
300.
You've got the fire right on the border of the High Park fire. You've also got a water border here. How much more can this run?
Well, that's certainly helpful. I'll let Patrick speak to that if he'd like, but that's helpful to have the reservoir on the east side and some burned area to the west.
So to answer your question as far as how far can this fire run, we're hoping Mother Nature is going to cooperate with us, and the wind will eventually cease later on this afternoon. Our folks are working on getting forecasts and additional information on that, but like Nick had mentioned, it's great to have that border of Horsetooth Reservoir. However, if the winds come out of the direction appropriately for the fire, it could keep heading south in a somewhat southerly direction, and we will try to stop it anywhere we can.
So have any structures been hit?
No structures, to my knowledge, have been damaged at this time.
Any people hurt?
We have no reports of injuries.
Can you just give us some context? I mean, it's March, it's hot, 70 degrees, dry. What does this say about what the upcoming fire season? Can you give us any kind of comment about the context of this?
Well, you know, it's quite paradoxical to March being our most snowy month, but again, as we found in recent past history, that getting fires like this in March is not out of the ordinary, seemingly, anymore, and I'm holding out hope, as I think everybody else is, that we do get some more moisture to hopefully put a damper on the upcoming real fire season during the summer.
And I guess how early is this compared to regular fire season?
You know, actually, we had a couple fires last year in March, and a couple fires that were either tens of acres or hundreds of acres in January. So this, in relation to what we determine, or what we call fire season in general, is still a couple months off.
And is it all confined to the state park right now?
It is mostly confined to the state park. We do not have a good hold on the exact boundaries, just because we've been working more on protecting structures and getting people evacuated than we have in doing much mapping on it.
Did this fire burn immediately around the park entrance structure at Laurie State Park?
It burned on the southwest side of that visitor center,
How close did it get?
right up to the parking lot. Anybody else?
Good.
Okay.
Any
Thanks,
idea when we can
Patrick.
expect the
Okay.
next one?
We are thinking about 5:30. That work good for everybody?
Make that work. So
Same spot. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for the info.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Good luck to you.